The People Podcast.
We the people! Hi, welcome back to We the People Podcast. For the people, by the people.
We the people.
It's We the People Podcast.
Hello, people.
2020 twin!
Wow.
That was good.
Oh, back to riff once again.
Back to the riff. The riff. Let's get riffing.
The riffles, if you will.
The riff.
So what's next? What we got?
Fort Knox.
Oh,
Hit him,
my
twin.
God. Look. Something tells me there's no gold in Fort Knox.
Where's it at?
No,
There's got to be some there.
I'm sure there's some, just so they can continue to say the gold's at Fort Knox.
Right.
But if you're off the gold standard, why
have gold?
Why are you sitting on gold?
Yeah.
If you're $38 trillion in debt and going $2 trillion in debt more every year, why is that gold there? What's it doing there?
But
what credit?
there's only half $1 trillion worth of gold.
That's a problem. Yeah, but I think it's depleted.
You think so?
There might be some there.
Yeah, but
something tells me that it's been getting dipped into.
I mean, it almost had to be.
It almost.
Hey, did you hear
had
that
to.
as soon as they announced they were going to be auditing Fort Knox, someone in the government brought in a whole bunch of gold from England's bank and put in our stock at Fort Knox. Fort Knox.
Well, that would be a big indicator of something not right.
I would say someone's sloshing some around to make it look like it's supposed to.
Well, what the heck? There better be gold there. That would probably be a bigger scandal.
I would say
would
so,
be a scandal.
considering that's the basis on where our Federal Reserve stands is the gold in our reserve.
Yeah, but we're not on the gold standard. So what we just
When did we come off the gold standard?
uh
Maybe that's the problem. Maybe we should talk about
60s. I think it's the 60s.
that. In exchange for
It was
what?
60s. In exchange for nothing. They outlawed owning gold
Wow.
for like 2 years. You could be arrested.
Wow.
You had to turn all your gold in.
I didn't know that. What year was this?
It was pretty sure it was in the 60s.
Wow.
Why? That's a good freaking question.
Was that to hoard the gold? Was that to up the Federal Reserve?
Considering your only option was to bury or give it to the government, then I would imagine, yeah, they were hoarding gold.
Yeah. Okay, so where did all that gold go? That's the problem.
Supposedly Fort Knox.
Well,
But, I've never seen it. You ever seen it?
I've been to Fort Knox.
I know.
They have a very elaborate security system around the gold storage. Now, whenever I say gold storage, I mean a very moderately sized, I'm going to say it, it's not that big, moderately sized vault building surrounded by barbed wire brick fence, surrounded by minefields, surrounded by chain link fence with barbed wires, surrounded by
Are you giving out
guard dogs.
Are you giving out government secrets right now?
No, I mean, you walk up the
Yeah,
fence
I
and
know.
see.
You can see that show.
You can literally see it. I
You
mean,
can see it on Google Earth.
you know,
It's fine.
I'm not going to say you can
Try to
throw a
fool.
stone from the fence and hit the gold, but, I mean, if you had a pretty good arm, you probably could.
It's fine.
A couple hundred yards from the back
China
fence.
knows all about it. They flew it.
Oh, yeah, I
all the
mean,
way over.
the weather balloon. I mean,
The
let's
weather
talk
balloon.
about the weather balloon. Now, they recovered the remains of this weather balloon. It took them 2 years to get the results of the investigation. Did you hear about the investigation, the results of it?
Nope.
Oh, well, they did have some very elaborate sensors mounted to this thing, but they had these sensors wired to a very generic, of course, Chinese-made telecommunication device. And the way they worded it in the report was it was almost like all these sensors were hooked to a cell phone. A cell phone was inside of a styrofoam cooler, well, like you put an old dirty 30 in when you go and see the NASCAR, and on a balloon. So elaborate sensors, but it was hooked to a very generic telecommunication device that was supposed to be satellite linked, and supposedly the government cut the satellite link as soon as it crossed over the continental U.S. So any information that it gained, it did not transmit. That's come from the government report.
Oh, the government, the one that let the balloon fly all the way across over our nuclear
from
deterrence.
sea to shining sea. This thing floated all the way across the top of us, and didn't decide to shoot it down until it got over the Atlantic Ocean. And it came from the Bering Strait.
Where's NORAD at in all this?
It came from the Bering Strait.
Literally their job.
And for those of you who don't know what the Bering Strait is, it's that little skinny taint-sized waterway between Russia and Alaska.
North America Air Defense. It's literally your job.
It's your job.
It's your job.
What's going on here? We didn't get a report of any hot air balloons, weather balloons, domestically. No. Something's over our shit that's foreign. Yeah, shoot it down. That should have been the last of it. They should have been the first call to the first person at NORAD, or even the local air defense system. Come on.
Well,
you probably could have shot it down with a BB. Let's be real.
Well, it should have been shot down. It should have been shot down way before it gets to the East Coast, coming from the West Coast. Like, there's hardly anything in Montana. It's mountains.
Yeah.
Cows.
I mean, it's
cowboys. Like, if you're worried about shooting this thing down and then crashing into a city or something, I get it. But you saw it coming. You watched it go by. You watched it go all the way over our airspace to the other side of the country. And what? Like, this thing could have dropped anything. It could have been an attack. It could have hit anything.
And you know what? It could have, who knows? It could have been dropping wireless sensors the whole way. And no one would know it. These things are as big as the palm of your hand. That's just not coming up on radar. And if it does, it looks like a bird. They don't know that shit.
Yeah, they ain't tracking it, that's for sure.
They're not tracking that shit. That thing could have dropped one little sensor size of your hand every 10 miles all the way across our country. Now they know exactly what's going through the air every 10 miles all the way across our country.
Yeah, and the
who gave these guys the keys?
Well, the whole drone thing in New Jersey.
Yeah, let's talk.
Was it Jersey?
Yeah, Jersey, the whole eastern seaboard, really.
Jersey, yeah. Like, what? And then Trump came out and said, "Oh, it's ours. We were just running some type of test or experiment." Like,
why didn't you tell us that before? Why did you let that whole drama go on? Was it because of the campaign?
Well,
was it trying to up the fears?
Well, there was rumors that they were looking for loose nuclear material and stuff like that.
Yeah,
like,
I heard something.
Don't you want to tell people that when you evacuate the area?
You would think.
I mean, yeah, you're going to cause a panic, but
it's better.
They're alive to be
dead.
They'd be alive to be panicked.
Yeah, they
but no,
plenty of time to bitch about it later. But
looking for a dirty bomb. Yeah, don't say a word. They might panic. Are you out of your fucking mind? Of course they're going to panic. You let a dirty bomb get past.
Now look. I feel like if our infrastructure can't support a mass migration for a huge evacuation, maybe we need to look into that. Maybe we need to look into widening every highway one lane on each side, just to be sure that if one day we all got to get the hell out of here really fast, that at least traffic will be moving. Even if it's at a crawl, we'll be moving away from the danger we know is coming because you told us. And we appreciate when you tell us. That way you give us the correct information, the proper and true information, so we can make decisions for ourselves to prepare or evacuate or harden our targets.
The only time you get the truth from the government is when they can't get anything out of lying to you. That's it. If it can't hurt them and it can't help them, they might tell you the truth. But if they can use it as a shield or as a sword, they'll play with the truth. And that's awful.
Let's talk about something. I feel like it needs to be brought up as we the people, and I really need I need feedback.
Yeah, what's up?
Edward Snowden.
What about him?
Patriot or traitor?
Yes.
Good answer. I couldn't answer it better myself, to be completely honest.
He did some dirty shit.
He did some dirty shit.
But he did it for good reasons.
He did it for good reasons, but he could have went about it.
But there is a price to be paid for that.
There definitely is. And I think it's...
Isn't he still in Moscow?
He's in Russia.
Yeah,
which is the only thing that messes with...
That messes with the whole thing.
It messes with your credibility when you ran to the enemy for asylum.
Well, you know,
you could have went to any non-extradition country, any of them that are willing to give asylum, and there are plenty to choose from. Now he might know better since he was an NSA operative.
Well, he knows there's gangster shit to be had.
There's gangster shit to be had,
but you're not gonna play gangster with Vladimir Putin.
Guess not.
He ain't giving that up. He may as well be a mascot for Putin. He came to me.
Yeah.
He came to me.
I hear you.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's all he is to Putin.
And
that's the only reason why he's still allowed to be there is because Putin's like, hey, he's still here, guys.
And really, if you ever, I don't know, I feel like if you're not quite sure how to feel about someone, look a little harder. Look a little harder. Well, I looked a little harder, took a step back, and looked at his situation. Where'd he end up? Russia.
That's tough to get by.
That's tough to get by. It's tough to reconcile you being a patriot and running to the enemy. There are plenty of places you could have ran, bro. And hey, we appreciate the heads up with what they were doing to us. And maybe we don't know all the circumstances, but you ran to Russia.
Tough to get by that.
Tough to get by that one, buddy.
We
ran to Russia. It's not like
we were good. We could even talk amnesty. We could talk amnesty.
We could talk,
but
amnesty.
We can't talk amnesty while you're sitting in the Russian consulate, bud. Like we can't do it.
Can't do it.
You're hanging out in Moscow, bro.
Buddy, and let me tell you, if you were gonna try to come reconcile, now's probably the time.
Now's probably your time.
I would probably get a hold of our fearless leader, Commander in Chief. You know who I'm talking about. That dude.
Does it rhyme with rump?
Definitely rhymes with gangsta.
Yeah, there's some gangster shit to be had, man. It's all about the gangsters.
All I'm saying is, if I had something to say to Snowden, you could have went about that better.
He's stuck now.
I feel like you're either a traitor or you're not. So I would get in touch with someone and try to reconcile with your countrymen. If you don't feel if you don't feel you're our countrymen anymore, then that tells us all we need to know.
Maybe wait for Kash Patel to start cleaning out the FBI first.
Hey, maybe.
There's
yeah, but
all
I'm saying is, why'd you go to Russia? You ended up with the one place.
Well, that's you're
the one place.
One place where the United States can't play gangster games.
Yeah.
Because I mean, where else is he gonna go? Ecuador.
I hear you.
We'll own half of Ecuador just to get them back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's
just to watch
so many deep state actors that want Snowden in a hole.
Yeah.
They want him in a hole. Now hindsight's 20/20 as far as he goes. I'm sure he wish he would have done it differently, but he's in Moscow now. It is what it is. That's tough to get by.
They got him right where they wanted him.
Well, it's the one place they can't get him.
Yeah.
You're not gonna play gangster shit with Putin.
Yeah.
Putin is the gangster. And he
maybe that's the circumstances. Maybe those are the circumstances that we're not accounting for when it comes to is he a patriot or traitor.
I'm sure there's stuff to be learned, but that's tough. But yeah. Putin's used to playing gangster with people because that's his business. It's his business.
It's his business. Everything's all right as long as there's enough vodka. And Putin's not investigating you.
Yeah. It's bad.
Okay, let's change it up here.
He's gonna die in Moscow.
Or yeah. Who knows?
Changing it to what? What we got?
Taiwan straight.
Taiwan,
South China Sea.
Taiwan's a goner.
Taiwan's a goner. It's just a matter of time because we
Matter of
can't get
time.
enough. We can't get enough manpower or rocket power there fast enough to stop China in their little puddle jump
Yeah, but
to their objective.
But why would you want to?
Why would you want to jump in between that?
Yep.
That's how I kind of feel too.
Why would you want to? I get the reasons why.
Now's the time to start developing our domestic chip making capability.
Start making it
period.
Because
Period. We can do it, guys. As Americans, we can make better chips. We just have to find the innovation and motivation to not have to rely on foreign sources that are not going to be reliable in the future.
you ain't gotta do none of that. You just recruit everybody in Taiwan. They already know how to make it.
What are you talking about? As in make them Americans, bring them to America? Welcome, leave it an empty island?
I mean, pretty much, yeah.
I mean, that's grand.
And if we made it easier to become American citizens, if we can do it for them, we can do it for anybody.
I feel like if they were going to let anyone slide on the
Yeah, it would be
application, would be the top tech engineers. Yeah,
you would think so. Just
You would think
recruit
so.
them. Recruit everybody from Taiwan. Bring your kids.
yeah, bring them.
Make them here.
Smart ass little motherfuckers.
We'll make you rich.
We'll make you rich. Hey, you know
We'll
what? We'll make you rich up
rich.
front, and then
Up
you can
top.
Yeah,
Ain't you got to be that. Just they pull strings for people for citizenship.
not only that,
They can make it happen.
you know they don't want to be on a little island right outside of
No,
their biggest bully, knowing they're coming and knowing we can't help them
Yeah.
that much.
Do you know how Taiwan came into being?
Yes, there was a revolution. The exiled government was exiled to Taiwan, and the communists took over the mainland, and the original rulers of mainland China that was exiled took Taiwan.
You're really, really close. Like 90% of that is 100% accurate.
Yeah. Well, please tell me, educate me, because
Oh no, you got it.
that's my pretty
It was
good
a-
understanding about
it
how
was-
that came to be.
During their civil war, there were multiple factions, multiple communist factions, democratic factions.
Right.
Well, towards the end of World War II, all of a sudden, Russia wanted to gobble up everything. They wanted something out of Japan. They wanted a chunk of China because it was in turmoil. And they backed the communists, and they got the democratic forces to the edge of the sea. They managed to get off to the island, and they're like, they're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
We got China. They're not going anywhere. And they're not a threat to us. So let them go.
But then,
If we ever decide we need that island over there, we know right where to find them.
yep.
And that's it. It's been that way ever since.
Until they started seeing Taiwan.
Until they started getting Mr. Smarty Pants in
Yeah.
Taiwan making these cool things. They
Yeah.
didn't give a damn about Taiwan. Not really.
Till they started seeing the skyscrapers go up and the banks start making money and the manufacturing started hitting and they started making top of the line, state of the art semiconductors, processors, chips, all of it.
Yep.
And
And all of a sudden, Taiwan's back on the radar.
all of a sudden, Taiwan is a pretty fucking jewel right off their coast that a lot of the world's dependent on for what we use every day today.
Yep.
Not yesterday, today, and tomorrow.
It's a choke point for technology.
Definitely is.
Yeah, Taiwan would fall in 3 days.
Man, I'm not sure it's going to take that
There's
long.
a lot of dead people when Taiwan falls. Because
A lot of them are floating.
China is not going to have any mercy. They'll probably give them a chance to surrender.
What,
But
as
when
they're
they-
on their way over?
But when they turn it down, it gets bloody fast.
You know, I see them giving them the opportunity between the first, right after the volleys of endless rockets and before the boats hit the beach.
Well, they're not going to just carpet bomb Taiwan because they want to take a lot of that infrastructure in one piece.
Right.
They don't want to have to rebuild all of this shit.
No, but they're definitely sending thousands of rockets to all known hardened
But
positions.
they're going to destroy everything that has a gun in it, or a bomb, or a soldier. They're going to destroy all of it. and they're going to try to take the city intact.
It's not going to happen.
It's probably not going to happen.
The whole island's going to be flat.
Because the Taiwanese despise the Communist Party of China.
Much as we do.
Despise them. No.
And you know what? I think that was
they
like
despise.
I think
they
that was
will
like,
go down fighting.
I think that was like a Democratic hotbed whenever Americans showed up and said, "Hey, we don't really like China, but we'd love to do business with you."
Absolutely.
And we're the rich man's getting off the rich man's boat saying, "Hey, we want to make you guys rich." And they're like, "Hell yeah!"
And that was the gangster shit.
and
Showing up to do gangster shit
with your neighbor, China,
with your neighbor,
and setting them up for success.
we did it.
You threw them.
We did it.
You threw them to the wolves. You threw them to the sharks. And we set them up.
Yep. Set them up so
Real
good you want it
nice.
back now all of a sudden.
Oh, look at that.
But yeah, we should just piecework all of that, recruit everybody in Taiwan, bring them home.
250 people at a time, so as to not raise suspicion.
No, I mean you don't have to be secretive about it. You just, I mean, that would actually
mass evacuation of the Taiwanese island.
That would be a political play. Hey,
I feel like,
look, if Trump came out and was just honest and said, look, 250,000 Taiwanese are going to die. China is going to take Taiwan. We can't stop it without this turning into World War III. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to bring these people to America. We're going to rebuild their chip factories, and we're going to bring them here. We're going to incorporate them in American society, and instead of China having us by the balls in technology with these chip factories that they just happen to collapse on our way out, you know what I mean?
Maybe all the infrastructure blows up on the way out too.
China having us by the balls, we're going to bring them here. We're going to build their factories. We're going to move the chip industry into America. In order to do that, we have to bring in the Taiwanese. Those who want to come here can come here. They'll go through the same process as everybody else to become citizens, but we're going to give them an expedited kind of situation for national security because we need the chips. If we don't have them, then we're in trouble. And what we lost, China will gain. And that is a problem. If he just came out and said that, I think popular support would be behind it.
I'm not so sure. I think there'd be a whole bunch of Americans standing up and say, we don't want 3.35 million Taiwanese dropping into our country.
They wouldn't all come, dude. They wouldn't all come.
Let's go half.
Probably half of them would come. Probably about a third.
10 million Taiwanese. You want 10 million Taiwanese walking our country?
There's a little China in every city already.
Well, I suppose. And you know what? I like Chinese food.
I wonder if them Taiwanese do anything different.
Hey, you know what? I bet they got some pretty good dumplings.
I bet they got beautiful women.
Flame.
Beautiful women.
Anyway.
I'm just joking, babe. I'm just joking.
Just joking, honey.
They're just jokes.
You're going to give me trouble. Okay. Cut.
No.
We
Why did you come down, sis?
I didn't know what you